Morning, friends. Ash here, WAT News Update. Today is November the 12th, 2020, and I have a little bit of an Arizona update. Let me go back to the other map because DDHQ Decision Desk in the overnight has apparently changed Arizona back from the lines, which it was yesterday, and now they're saying it's leaning towards Biden, and I think they even gave him they gave him up to 290. So they gave him Arizona it's appearing. I don't know why, because it's not over. He's within 12,000 votes. 12,000 vote difference. This is going to be a full recount. It's within the margin. And so this should really be, in my opinion, too close to call. But, it looks like there's a real push here to give it to give it to Joe by any means necessary. Let's go look at the vote count in here and see what we can see. Maricopa's still waiting, right? But as you can see, he's gained votes there. He's at 993 now, so he's gained a little bit of some votes back, and he's edging closer. And we're still waiting on Yuma. It looks like now Mojave has closed, and Trump has taken that easily, so that might be part of why his vote count jumped up, and he's only within 12,000 now. So we're just waiting now on Yuma, which is still 95. I mean, these people got to be the slowest counting state I've ever seen. I just don't, there's no, besides New York, where I am. Uh, so, yeah, we're still waiting on Pinal also, and Trump looks like he's comfortably ahead there, and that's 99%. So, uh, I think this state should go to Trump's, from what I'm seeing, but apparently they don't want to say that. So we'll see how that plays out. Nothing really new to report. George is going to have to do a hand recount. Let's go back to the DDHQ. George is going to do a hand recount now, which 14,000 vote difference. I don't know how long that's going to take. The question is really going to be, are they hand counting these, or are they putting them through an infrared scanner so they could see which votes have the watermark and which don't? Because the rumors I'm hearing are that massive amounts of votes were put through these infrared machines, and 80% of the votes that they put through there aren't real. And they're all for Biden, of course. So if that's true, there's been a massive amount of voter votes injected into the system, not just with uh, paper ballots being injected, but you also have the Dominion system is in every state that's still yet to be called. All these states we're looking at, basically. So, if that program was set up to put 3% right to Biden off the top, and then to make it that, like in certain states, that Trump can't see how he's at 42, he never gets to 43. Bev Harris was talking about that's one of the features of the GEM system. You can program it in that a person can't get more than 43%. And that means you lose, right? Because if you never get to 50, you can't win any of these. 41, 42, 41. There's certain states here, 41. There's certain states here, 41. There's certain states here, right, where he's right around 42, 43, and he never got higher. Now, I think that should be looked at because there's enough states where it's 1, 2, maybe New York, maybe New Jersey, something's going on. I mean, what's going on in New York? You still telling me you counted 6.6 million votes and it's 9 days later? Okay. I mean, if you expect me to believe that in a state that's 19 million people in it, okay. I don't believe it, but somebody might. I don't know who those people are, but it's not me. Um, and we're going to have to see. Wisconsin, I feel like it's going back to Trump. Michigan, too, I think there's been a lot of voter fraud there. But we'll see. We don't know this yet. There's a lot of investigations. There's a lot of allegations. At some point, someone's going to have to come out of the woodwork and show the real stuff, right? If these ballots have watermarks on them, let's see it. Let's see you run them through the machine so we know. I think that's where we're headed. Um, you know, we're at a sort of stuck right now, right? You got one side saying, hey, we don't want this to go forward anymore. This guy won. And the other side saying, wait a minute, there's a lot of stuff going on here that I'm seeing that doesn't look right. So we got to wait and see how it all plays out. Trey Trainer to Newsmax TV, voter fraud is taking place. Chair of the Federal Election Commission, Trey Trainer, believes voter fraud is taking place in states still counting ballots during a Friday appearance on Newsmax. So, got a lot of people saying that it's taking place. So, Florida Governor DeSantis proposes expanded stand your ground law, anti-mob legislation. So, looking to maybe allow people to get into groups to defend themselves. If people are coming to your house and they want to burn it down, what are you supposed to do, right? People are coming on your property. Like that woman out in California caught the guy with the matches trying to set fires on her property. You know, she had to walk the guy back out of her property at gunpoint. You know, there's stuff going on like that. So, um, President Trump earns 53% approval among likely U.S. voters. Kind of hard to figure he lost this with those kind of numbers, but Cindy McCain showing her true colors there. There's a role for Republicans in the Biden administration. Okay. Now it seems that this pipe bursting incident wasn't as bad as they were saying. Open Records request finds no invoice or work orders on reported election day water main break in Atlanta. They said a water main broke and flooded out all the ballots and they got destroyed, but that actually wasn't the case. Biden Chief of Staff designate Ron Klain said in 2014 that elections are rigged. Yeah, they're rigged when you lose, I guess. I don't know. Boom, President Trump tweets that Dominion attempted to alter our election and they got caught. What's Barr going to do? We don't know yet. We're waiting on Barr, see what he does. There's an investigation. The DOJ's ordered an investigation. Impossible. GOP picked up seats in the House, picked up state legislatures, picked up governorship, held the Senate, but Sniffy Joe won? Not a chance. So there's a lot of talk. This is an interesting article here. Hundreds of pro-Trump IT volunteers are scouring voter data. Already nearly 300,000 vote discrepancies were identified in Pennsylvania alone. IT volunteers are joined together in at least two big groups to help the Trump campaign. They've already identified thousands of discrepancies and activities that must be explained. See, that's the problem with this system, right? You can run it, and if it's a small race in a state that you want to affect, right? Okay, if the vote's sort of close, you could do this and nobody would ever even notice it, right? But the problem that's happening now is you got the whole world is watching you with a microscope on you. That's one. Two, you got this program we now know is possibly compromised running in all the states in question that are close, right? So now that has to be looked at. And three is we know how the system works now. We know that if the gem system gets compromised, you can start to turn the votes into fractions and change it and put in different combinations and algorithms that can make the vote go any way you want it to go. You can make the person win in a squeaker. You can make them win in a blowout. You can completely alter the vote totals. You can get rid of votes, switch them to other people. There's all kinds of stuff you could do with this. It's set up to rig it. That's what it's used for, from all the research I've done. And so the fact that not only was this program allowed to be used, but then on top of it, you have certain people in the Democratic Party that now seem connected to this particular company in some way, that also is a problem. So you have multiple issues around this company. That also the software seems compromised in the way that you can get into the machines easily as well. I saw a video online where a woman said, I can get admin privileges in this machine in 2 minutes flat. And she shows exactly how to jimmy it open and get in there, and it's not that hard. So the security around these machines is suspect at best. We reported earlier that the Epoch Times reported the following. More than 20,000 absentee ballots in Pennsylvania have impossible return dates, and another more than 80,000 have return dates that raise questions, according to a researcher's analysis of the state's voter database. Over 51,000 ballots were marked as returned just a day after they were sent out, an extraordinary speed in U.S. Postal Service delivery times, while nearly 35,000 were returned in the same day they were mailed out. Another more than 23,000 have a return date earlier than the sent date. More than 9,000 have no sent date. State voter records are being scrutinized as President Trump is challenging the results. Well, we were already seeing certain postal carriers who have testified under oath that they were told to bring ballots back that they found in building lobbies and in places and bring those ballots back to the post office. And then the allegation was they were being backdated. And we have evidence, multiple instances of that allegation now being uh, put out there by people. So I'll have to see how that plays out. But if you were backdating ballots, it's so many different things that I'm seeing. I'm seeing people backdate ballots. That one allegation, I'm seeing ballots just being chucked out into the garbage and ripped up. I'm seeing allegations of ballots being fake ballots being injected into the system. I'm seeing allegations of Dominion system possibly altering votes, switching votes. I mean, you have 3, 4, maybe 5 different uh, voter and vote scams going on all at the same time to affect this win. That's, to me, in my opinion, how behind Biden was this whole race. I think he was way in the hole, and that's why they had to go to this extraordinary circumstance. And if you think back to 2016, the rumor was that the rig was already in for Hillary, but she lost anyway because they didn't rig it enough. In other words, there were certain states where he did so much better, Trump, than they thought, that even though the 3% rig was in, he still won. That's the rumor, and that's what I'm starting to believe, because if you look into this, how these machines work, there's no way you could lose with this machine. There's no way you can lose, period, if you don't want to lose. Because you can direct a machine to do anything you want. And that's what Bill Binney said. He said, this isn't a glitch. It's not a bug. If it was a bug, it would do different things and would put different votes to different candidates and take some and give it to Trump too. It didn't do that. It only took votes away from Trump in every instance and gave it to Biden. That's not a glitch. That's not a bug. That's the computer program doing exactly what it's programmed to do. That's my opinion. You're welcome to yours. The point of this all is, to me, is that there's 3 or 4 or 5 even scams going on. You have multiple people working on this. This is a conspiracy, is what this is. I mean, you have huge groups of people working in a massive conspiracy to affect the vote in this country. I just want to get back to New York real quick because I'm starting to see some disturbing trends here. They are pushing now that there's all new COVID cases in certain parts and boroughs of the city. We have 5 boroughs here. And in Brooklyn, they've been pushing this hard. And what I'm hearing is that the cases are not big, and there is no zones like this. They're just pushing this to try to do a second lockdown. But the interesting thing is that Cuomo, who's been ripping Trump every time, has missed 10 of the last governors' meetings with Trump's people on the vaccine and giving updates. So he doesn't even know what's going on. He's saying he won't allow the vaccine, whatever it is, to come out in the city, but yet he's missed 10 or more of the last meetings, and then he just badmouths it out there. So, Cuomo's in deep trouble here, deep trouble. And you're seeing now he wants the gyms to go back to 10 o'clock, that they can close. Apparently it's okay to work out during the day. There's no risk there. But after 10 o'clock, if you're near a bar, you could get sick, so you need to go home. And the bars need to be closed at 10 p.m., which I don't know how you make any money as a business here anymore. And with those restrictions, they got 25% restriction inside the restaurants, which is nothing if you're in food. I mean, I worked in restaurants before. You can't make it with 25% of the people in your restaurant night after night. You're going to go under pretty quick, unless you got a lot of reserve money. And New York has tons of restaurants, and it's a big business here, so you gotta be full almost every night, or at least 3 or 4 nights a week to make any money in a restaurant, at least in New York with the big rents. Notice this big article popped in New York Post. Police expose global child abuse ring sent out of Australia. And we've seen a lot of restrictions in Australia, very, very hard lockdowns down there. Like, people are, just, it's draconian stuff they're doing down there. But I'm just wondering if they're just trying to clear out a lot of this bad rot that's in the country, as well as I heard that the tunnels underneath Australia are extensive and they're much, much larger than were previously thought. That's the rumor I heard. And when they got down there, they realized this is a massive tunnel system that's on top of another older tunnel system that they don't know who created that, but that was the rumor, and so that was why the lockdowns were there. But we're still not. I think like Australia's almost went dark. I mean, I'm not basically hearing anything from there anymore, so it's scary to hear what's going on down there. Uh, and I pray for our friends down under and in all the countries that are affected right now. I noticed this article was a little interesting. None of the pictures coming up, which is weird, but Bernie Sanders would take Biden labor security job under one condition. Okay, so you know, starting to see that maybe was Bernie down with them the whole time. I don't know. Starting to look like he's real friendly with them now. Um, so yeah, getting back to the map, guys. Not much new here, but Arizona will have to keep a close eye on there. Now they're pushing it towards it's Biden's again, and it appears that they have given him the numbers and all that. But we've seen that before. So 12,000 vote difference, less than 12 really. It's 11,000 something. So he's paired back. We'll have to see how it plays out throughout the rest of the days coming. And I just wanted to thank all my friends, do a little rant here, and thank all everybody for watching my page. I'm just a regular guy. Have I always been interested in the news? Sure. I was debating friends on Facebook 2, 3 years ago when Trump first got in, and my political views started to change. And I basically lost the majority of my friends. I lost most of my family. Won't talk to me anymore, like a lot of other people I know whose political views have changed or who walked away from the Democratic Party maybe. And I don't like to get real political. I like to just cover the facts of a situation. That's all I'm trying to do here. So, and the only reason that I started to do this was because I got upset, like a lot of people, as I saw the mainstream media lie to us again and again and again over the years. And at some point, you got to say to yourself, I'm done with the lies. I've actually unplugged my cable box. Haven't watched TV for 3 or 4 days now, and I feel all the better for it. So, the only way these people have power, these big news agencies like CNN and these people, is if you consume their propagandistic lies. And once you stop consuming it, it doesn't have any power anymore. You know, it only has power if you give it your attention and if you believe what they're telling you. And I still know people that watch CNN and claim it's the best news. So, you know, there's going to be a certain group, a level of people or amount of people that just will never wake up. And they're going to have to see it right in their face for them to wake up, unfortunately. And I think that's what this is all about. You have to see the enormity of the fraud that's been going on, the enormity of the scam, and come to a realization that none of the presidents that have been elected in your lifetime have probably been in a completely fair election that was free 100% of any sort of tampering. That's the realization we're coming to as a country, and that we need to come to together and realize that this isn't just about an election. It's not about Trump. It's about cleaning out the rot that's in our system from the core of it all the way out, and getting our election system where it's actually fair and it actually does, works in the way that the founding fathers intended it to work. And that's why they created the Electoral College and certain safety measures so that one side could not corrupt the system and completely take it over. And that's why safeguards are built in. And that's why there's elected for each state. And that's why this process works in this way, so that you can't do what these people are trying to do. And so, again, that's my opinion, and you're entitled to yours. I appreciate your time, and we'll keep an eye on things, and we'll update you if anything else happens. Have a wonderful day, and thank you again.